Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Suikoden 2 walkthrough. Right, so we are starting out as usual in the castle. And it looks like we need to just head into the war room. I feel sort of relieved to be back. Guess it's because this is where I want to live, huh? I don't actually ever remember her saying that. That's kind of funny. I mean, again though, who wouldn't want to live in a castle? I mean, come on. It's a castle. Okay. Alright, so it sounds like we have to fight again tomorrow. Okay, so it looks like... Well, this is a little odd. This is like a nighttime type scene, it looks like. Yeah, and alright, so we need to head here. This looks like, what is this, the third floor? It's kind of goofy because the location of the main character's, I guess, bed ends up changing later on. So, again, I'm pretty sure this is the third floor. Obviously, Shu's room is right there. So we've got a little dialogue here, and then here's the next scene with Luca and Joey. Okay, here, Luca points out that Kaiba and Klaus are more loyal to the king than him. And here's Leon. This is Leon Silverberg. Okay, so this is like Luca's version of Shu, I guess, is kind of... that's usually the way these Suikoden games kind of pan out, is there always seems to be these opposing strategists. And again, in our case, it's Shu and Leon. So he's going to be the one in charge of strategy for Luca. Oh, okay. So I thought that there was more in the way of scenes at nighttime. But I must be thinking of a different spot in the game. But all right. So it looks like we're gonna head back down to the first floor, and here Nanami is waiting. Terrible news. Everyone's gathering in the square. Okay, so apparently this is the square. I don't know. It seems weird. To me, this is the war room, but whatever. Okay, so Radat has potentially been invaded. And it's not Solanji, it's General Kaiba and his son. Kiba Kaiba? I don't know. I'll probably keep switching it up, so just to be extra confusing. Okay. Oh, do I want to talk to Apple here? Yeah. All right. So, gosh, it feels like I've talked about potentially swapping up my units quite a bit. And here, I don't know how Freed ended up in my main character's party, or war party, I guess. However you want to look at that. I don't know how that happened, but... okay, so Amelia here, she actually wouldn't be too bad in the heroes unit. Again, I don't actually really use the heroes unit to do much toe-to-toe fighting. It's more of a utility type unit, I guess I would say. Now, here I say that, and then I put Amelia with Teresa. I actually think that, and again, I've kind of talked about this quite a few times. The kind of the thing about the whole war battles, most of them are just completely irrelevant, and they have conditions where it's not even like, defeat your enemy. It's like last 4 turns. So you can almost do anything, and it just doesn't really matter. It's kind of the shame too, like, where I feel like a lot of this stuff, it could have been it could have been more fun, but it just doesn't end up being all that fun because, you know, again, it's mostly irrelevant what we do. So, so I guess again, it is what it is, but it's kind of my take. So here I'm just trying to get cavalry spread out among my different units. You know, again, that's one of those. It seems kind of redundant to put, you know, too many together, and I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't even think that those units are set up the way I want still. So whatever. Again, you know, it's one of those things though where it almost doesn't even matter, and it's kind of a shame. But oh well. What are you gonna do? Okay, so let's switch it up here. It looks like Victor is stuck with us, or we're stuck with Victor, however you want to look at that. Who do we have here? I'm gonna, yeah, Anita. Oh, maybe Anita. Yeah, here we go. Anita, Ulan, probably gonna make the cut here. That's my guess, unless we have to recruit somebody, which, you know, then things might get swapped up a bit. All right, so it looks actually we are full up on the short-ranged characters. So probably somebody medium or long range for the last spot is my guess. I could be wrong. Oops, Stallion? Yeah, maybe Stallion. No. Okay. Gonna pass him over. Oh, there he is. Yeah, alright. Alright. Kinda was thinking I might do that. Go for that, that quick run speed on the world map. He's, you know, he's long range too, so that's got its uses. I just typically don't actually really make use of that. Oh, that's right. Okay, so we need to be in Radot, and basically we'll come in from the north side of town here. Almost no writing. All right, so here, yeah, we'll want to just head in, do a little exploring, I guess. Okay, so this is obviously Kiba and Klaus. This town is under Highland rule. Anyone steps out of line will be punished by Highland law. People of Muse were devoured by a monster. Okay, so Kiba, whatever, obviously does not know that that is exactly what happened in Muse. He's naive, apparently, to what happened. Because he actually is more decent than some, I guess. Or at least more decent than some of the characters that work for Highland and Luca. All right, so here's the big news. Joey is marrying Jilia. And here Klaus, as usual, being so I'm torn on whether or not that's kind of classy. I mean, it seems like it is, right? Where you kind of celebrate your enemies' victories, but at the same time, it feels weird. It feels like you know, like Klaus looks at war as this game, you know, and you know it's kind of like, oh, the best man will win, which. Yeah, again, okay, but at the same time, like, you're legitimately talking about people's lives. So it feels kind of gross, and at the same time, it's like, okay. So, I don't know. That's my take on Klaus. All right. Alright, where to next here? Oh, all right. Everyone's gathered in the Great Hall. Now it's the Great Hall. Sometimes it's the square. Sometimes it's the Great Hall. Sometimes it's the War Room. Come on, people. Can we just call it one thing and be done with it? Okay. I guess as long as we know where we're going, it's fine. Okay, so we know who we're fighting. Again, I don't know how useful that information is, but maybe it will be. We'll see. We'll find out, I'm sure. Alright, we don't need a strategy for this battle. That seems like a weird thing for Shu to say. And then here, I just wanted to make sure I saved my game before I actually start this, which I think is usually pretty smart. Okay, give the signal to deploy. Let's do that. Sounds like fun, right? Alright, so we've got confidence in our strength. This is... the whole way that this battle plays out is kind of interesting, so we'll kind of stay tuned here. The one thing that, for better or worse, is kind of interesting is how Shu seems to withhold information from even his own troops, which again is a little interesting, but it always seems to work. And it should be obvious here, we're fighting a lot of enemies, so see opponent's ability. Okay. Again, I think Investigate is not good on a character that you actually want to do damage with. I should have put, you know, either somebody with more attack or, you know, I think critical. I don't know if Bombard works with critical or not. Again, I suspect that it doesn't, because in all the times that I attacked with that Bombard ability, I don't think I ever saw the critical ability actually fire, so there's that. Again, so Raud kind of just chills in the bottom and doesn't actually do anything. I think this whole time. And the other Highland soldiers obviously are actually going to. Here we go. So Ridley here says he's got a question about the troop deployment, and says, why is it that the kobolds are only up in front? And Shu basically just says, yo, the troop assignments are my decision, basically. Which, you know, you gotta assume that Ridley, even asking the question, you know, to get an answer like that, he's probably not going to be real satisfied. So, it seems like there's some wonkiness going on there, but sort of I mean, without giving away too much, it's a bit of a ruse. Like, those two worked that out between themselves, and again, didn't let really anybody else know. So, yeah, there's that. Which, and again, now it all come back around and make sense later. But it shows how good Shu really is, I guess. So again, we'll leave it at that. All right, so here's Bombard, and man, that ability is just, oh, it's crazy. You can use it from so far away. Again, now I stuck Shin with Teresa eventually, because I thought, oh, we'll give him the critical ability, and hopefully, or maybe that'll work, but it didn't seem to actually work out that way, unfortunately. So there's that. It's just a shame. I think that these battles could have been a lot more fun, but just for kind of storyline reasons, they all, to be honest, they all just end up being kind of boring and dumb. Again, it seemed like such a cool idea, and then to not really, I feel like it's just not utilized well, And again, none of them really seem to matter that much. The only thing is, like, you just want to make sure that you don't just throw away your characters, because they can literally die in these battles. So again, keep that in mind, and don't throw away your troops needlessly. But all right, so I've got Gilbert is set up. I actually kind of like the way Gilbert's set up. He's got who was that? Was that Camus with him, or was it Miklatov? And then Sai. So he's got basically a cavalry ability, so he's got the little bit of extra movement. And then he can use fire spears too, which they're just great. There's no other way to describe it. The fire spears are insanely useful throughout the entire game. So, and then we've got Ridley up with Camus. So Camus has Camus has cavalry, and then Humphrey's got heavy armor. I think heavy armor actually lets you take 3 swords worth of damage instead of just 2. And then obviously Ridley's got that critical ability too. So he's his unit's pretty solid too. I actually kind of like how his is set up. And generally, with so having Humphrey with somebody like Ridley, who's going to be up on the front lines doing damage, just makes I think it just makes sense. You're not going to want to have Humphrey hanging back like with the main character, in his rune, not doing any good, because again, it just having heavy armor on somebody that's not taking damage just doesn't make sense. So again, kind of like how that unit at least is set up. Kobolds are doing some work here. So what's her name though? Teresa. I still don't think that hers is set up well at all. I should have gone kind of now, in hindsight's 2020, but I should have done something like just stacked her up with as much attack as I possibly could, because being that bombard ability is useful used from so far away, you don't need the defense. There's no real reason to even bother. Here we go. Alright, so I knew we shouldn't have joined forces with humans and order all forces to retreat. So again, don't freak out. This was planned, and that's basically, it's pretty much going to end this, because Raud starts to attack then too, and then we just say, it's time to bail. So again, that little dialogue there between Victor and Shu, where Victor's asking about, what the strategy is, kind of makes a little bit more sense. It's going to make a little bit more sense later, and ow. Victor taking some nasty magic damage there. But again, that conversation will kind of make a little bit more sense later. But, alright, so let's... Victor's kind of getting worked over there. And of course, my main character is so far back. Probably putting somebody like maybe Chaco with him or something would have been maybe a decent idea. Just to get him some more movement. Nanami with... Oh, sorry, no, that's Victor. I guess that's not so bad. Yeah, So Tuda's got the self heal, and she can use it 3 times. Nanami has self heal, and she can only use it once. So abilities like that are better off on characters that you plan on putting on the front lines. Ooh, yeah, look at that. That's a nice fire spear. Yeah. Someone like Flick, though, isn't probably going to make a whole lot of use of, that self-heal, again, because he's an archer. So he's usually safe, not on the front lines. Again, all of this depends on how you actually use your units, though, too. So there's that. But here, all right, so it can't be too much longer here, but we're going to end up... or this battle will be over. Now, this is not smart. I don't know why I would have attacked from here. Yeah, unless I was going to attack Roud. That would make a little bit more sense. But if I was gonna actually, attack these two, 5% success rate. That's horrible. 20% on them. Yeah, this is just not smart. I don't know why I did this. It would have been smarter to move one step back and then attack that. The unit that's already taken damage, and just kind of try to eliminate one of them. Oh, okay, so that's what I was doing. Okay. I don't think actually by... actually, I don't know now. I'm kind of curious if I would have been able to eliminate Kaiba and Klaus. To be completely honest, probably not. I've noticed that most times in battles like this where they... again, for storyline reasons, they kind of want it to play out a certain way. Generally, what'll happen here is, like I've done here, is I've stuck Kaiba and Klaus with a bunch of damage here, and they're still hanging around. So, again, oftentimes that happens where, because of storyline reasons, you're just not able to eliminate certain units. That it reminds me of Luca Blight's unit. There's a couple of battles where you fight him and you just can't kill him. And again, that's mostly for storyline reasons. So. Anyways, let's keep going. This can't be too much longer here, and the battle is just gonna end. Oh, here's Kaiba doing. Oh, okay. If you notice there, Kaiba's down to like 2 troops. Which usually means that they've got heavy armor. Obviously, the fact that he's already taken two whatever swords worth of damage would indicate that he's got heavy armor, and thus was able to take a third. But ironically, I don't think so Kaiba's gonna swap sides eventually. But I think when he joins you, he doesn't have heavy armor, and neither does Klaus. So. I guess stay tuned, but I think that's the case with those 2 troops. So kind of interesting that. Again, and I suspect it was for storyline reasons that they didn't want us to win there. But, anyways, all right. So we're back at the castle, and it certainly appears that yeah. So there Shu even said, hey, don't now is not the time to attack Ridley, which is, again, stay tuned. As always, though, hope the guide was helpful, and hope you join me for more videos. Thanks for watching.